Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Daily Red Devil for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. Before we get into today's video, I've got one small favour to ask. Please subscribe to the channel if this is your first time watching. We are literally on the brink of hitting 43,000. So, yeah, I'd really appreciate it if you could all subscribe and give the video a like as well if you haven't already. So, on the show this morning, we are going to talk about Bryan Mbeumo, third bid going in. We're also going to talk about Højlund to Inter Milan. We're going to discuss the Sancho mess. We're going to discuss Anthony, Rashford, and also look at some other potential signings that we may make in the rest of this window. But before we do all this, I want to get you, the audience's thoughts on Bryan Mbeumo. How do you feel about how this deal has played out? So just to recap, for anybody who's been living under a rock, 4 to 6 weeks ago, David Ornstein said that Manchester United were trying to sign Bryan Mbeumo. Since then, we've put in 2 bids, both of which have been rejected. The stance from Brentford since day one has been pay us 62.5 million up front or there's no deal. We're now 6 weeks later, 2 bids rejected. Pre-season starts a week tomorrow and we don't have the player. So that's where we are at the moment. They want the same amount of money as what Manchester United paid to Wolves for Matheus Cunha. Remember, that was 62.5 million. They value him the same. They're saying, give us 62.5 million or there's no deal. How do we feel about this? Do we think this is still a good deal? Are you happy with it? I think from my perspective, we're right at the kind of cusp of where it gets into silly territory. I think 62.5 million is a lot. But he did get 20 goals in the Premier League last season. He did arguably have better stats than Cunha last season. He got 20 goals and 7 assists in 38 games. I mean, that's pretty good for a Brentford team. I still do think that maybe 62.5 is a little bit too much, but I think it's right on the cusp. If it was more than that, I think we'd be, having to have a serious conversation about it. But if they get the deal done for that amount, then so be it. The one thing I will say is I'm a little bit confused why they've put in so many bids when they knew what Brentford wanted from day one. Doesn't really make much sense to me, but I mean, this is Manchester United for you. They probably thought they could get him for cheaper, and now they just look stupid. We've heard from Omar Barada that they won't overpay for players. If they think a deal is too much, they'll walk away. Well, in this case, they haven't done that, have they? They've just continually pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed to a point where Brentford are now just saying, give us the money we want or there's no deal. So as long as we get the player, as long as he's part of that pre-season camp, which starts a week tomorrow, I don't really care that much. I think we just need him in for that pre-season. We need to guarantee that Ruben Amorim has his players for as long as possible ahead of that Arsenal game. Remember, our first game of the season against Arsenal at home. It's not an easy fixture. So we need to be prepared for that. We need to start the season well. And imagine if we lose to Arsenal on the game one. It's not going to be good, is it? We need to at least get a draw against Arsenal, if not win. And I know people are going to be like, how are we going to do that? Well, how we're going to do that is we're going to bring in our players early. We're going to give them a pre-season. And we're going to give Ruben Amorim the chance to actually implement his ideas. Whether that's on the pre-season tour of America, whether that's at Carrington, that's what needs to happen. So, yeah, that's my kind of expectation. And it does look like now, this is coming up from Fabrizio. So let's talk about this third bid. Obviously, let me know your thoughts on Bryan Mbeumo in the comment section below. So Fabrizio was saying that a third bid is set to go in. He also says that Bryan Mbeumo deal is not just about the transfer fee. It's about how the deal is structured, the payment terms, the installments, add-ons, and how to activate it. He says that the two clubs are currently working on all the details to try and reach an agreement. So effectively what this means here is Manchester United are probably trying to pay the fee over like 5 years, which Brentford aren't happy with. The same thing happened with with Cunha. They were trying to pay the fee over like a really long period. And with the Matheus Cunha one, Manchester United were actually supposed to pay the whole fee up front. I think in the end, the Matheus Cunha deal was spread over 3 years. So it's 62.5 million. So it'd be like 21 million this year, 21 the next year, and so on, right? But with Bryan Mbeumo, there's no release clause, so it's kind of all up for debate. So at the moment, the two clubs are just debating over how effectively how the fee will be structured. So will it be all up front? Will it be some up front? Will it be, over 5 years, 3 years? And Man United are obviously going to be pushing to be paying it over as long a period as possible because it just means they have more money to spend in relation to PSR. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it will happen. Obviously, Fabrizio saying a third bid's going to go in. It does look a little bit weak, though, that we've had so many bids rejected. It does still kind of tell me that we're not very good at negotiating because most teams, right, they negotiate behind the scenes. The bid goes in, the bid is accepted, and it's done. It's like, surely they knew that Brentford were going to reject the bid. They've been speaking to them. It's like they were having a meeting with them. Brentford said no, and then Manchester United put a bid in anyway to kind of test them. And then Brentford are like, no, we already told you no. So it's a little bit strange, but the deal will happen. I'm almost certain of it. He said that he only wants to join Manchester United. That's been widely reported. He said he would rather stay at Brentford than join Tottenham. I mean, that's just fair play to him for that. And you can see that he's clearly not coming to Manchester United for money. He's coming because he's a boyhood fan and he loves the club and he wants to be part of the rebuild. Because it's been widely reported that Bryan Mbeumo has told his agent, his family, and Brentford that if the only option is to go to Tottenham, he'd rather stay at Brentford. I don't really blame him, to be fair, but I thought that was quite funny. So yeah, it will happen, guys. We've just got to be patient. I know it's frustrating. I know people want this deal to happen. I know everybody just wants the here we go. Yeah, it's frustrating. Al says, why are we so useless at negotiating? I mean, it's going to take a while, isn't it? It's going to take a while for us to get the right people in place. Yeah, it's going to take a while for the right people to be in place. But I agree, we are useless at negotiating. Absolutely useless. And we thought that it would get better. We thought that over time, Manchester United would bring in the right people who would, be able to resolve this situation. But it hasn't really got any better, has it? If anything, it's just stayed the same. So, yeah, a bit frustrating, but there's not much we can do about it right now. But moving on from there, let's talk about Rasmus Højlund then. So there's a story again from Fabrizio this morning saying that apparently Manchester United will only let Rasmus Højlund leave if it is on a permanent deal, which I agree with. He says there is no agreement currently between Inter Milan and Manchester United for Rasmus Højlund. Inter Milan are trying to sign him on loan with an option to buy. Oh, great. He says there are quite easy conditions. He says that Manchester United are insisting on a permanent transfer. I mean, I full-heartedly agree with that. The idea of loaning out Rasmus Højlund with an option to buy leaves... We don't even have a strike. He's our only striker. I mean, that makes no sense at all. If we bring in Gyökeres or we bring in Osimhen, then maybe you loan him out. Fine. But at the moment, we don't have a striker. Why would we loan out our only striker? That's completely illogical. So I agree with that. Obviously, Manchester United's stance might change if, they bring in a Gyökeres or they bring in Osimhen or whoever it might be. But to be actually negotiating with Inter Milan and them to be suggesting, oh yeah, why don't you loan us your only striker? Oh yeah, what a great idea. I mean, what's going through their head? I mean, they're obviously just trying it, aren't they? So yeah, we'll see what happens, but I wouldn't mind Højlund leaving if we brought in a Gyökeres. Obviously, Gyökeres could be the number one striker. Chido could be like number 2/number 3, and you could have Mbeumo who can play as a striker. Cunha can play as a striker. Bruno's played as a false 9 before. Like, you still do have options. So I wouldn't really be that fussed if we brought in a proper number 9. But at the moment, like I said, the thought of letting our only number 9 leave for free, I mean, it is kind of a free loan, isn't it? They pay some of the wages, but it means that we're a player short. Like, it's not great, is it? So, yeah. It's a no from me, but obviously you can let me know your thoughts on that one in the comment section below. Would you loan out... Would you loan out Højlund? I think they're just trying it, personally, and I think it's a stupid idea. So, yeah, that's a no from me. Right, let's see what else we've got here. Welcome everyone who's joining in the chat. Hope you're all doing well. I feel like people are getting quite frustrated in this transfer window. I'm not going to lie. I feel like the mood in the fan base has gone from being like really, really high in the beginning of the window. Everyone was absolutely buzzing. They were excited. And now the mood feels really, really low. And I get it. You know, people are losing interest pretty quickly. And I can tell from the YouTube videos, you know, at the beginning of the window, the mood in the chat was amazing. Everyone was really, really excited. And now people are just like, oh my God, it's just the same as every window. You know, you see Liverpool signing Kirkes, Wirtz, Frimpong, making all these big signings after just winning the league. And Manchester United are here just like scraping the barrel. I mean, even with outgoings, you know, Liverpool have been getting rid of players. But anyway, there's not too much we can do about that. Right, let's see if there's anything else we want to talk about on the show this morning. Obviously, Sancho. God knows what's going on there. Anthony, apparently Man United are in talks with Real Betis. They've been in talks for about 6 months, so God knows what they're talking about. They're talking about the weather. They're talking about what they watched on TV last night. Who knows? Who knows what they're up to? But yeah, apparently they're still in talks with Real Betis. Again, Real Betis want to do another loan. What a surprise. Like, really? I think exits will happen. Obviously, like I said, the players go back to Carrington a week tomorrow. I think it is. Yeah, a week tomorrow. So exits will start to happen, but it's just a matter of when and how long it's all going to take. And, you know, is Ruben Amorim going to have the players he needs ahead of pre-season? That's the kind of big question here. Because at the moment, who knows what's going to happen? You know, who knows what Manchester United are doing? But I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. I'm not going to do a massively long one today because I don't want to just talk over old news. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Obviously, if anything breaks during the day, I will go live. Make sure to drop a like on the video before you leave. Make sure to subscribe if you are new. This has been Daily Red Devil, and I'll speak to you all on the next one. Have a great Sunday, everybody. Bye for now.